Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I wanted to start this video by giving a shout out to a few of the researchers in the XRP community from the last couple of years. A lot of these people, I don't even begin to pretend to ever take credit for heading down a path myself. Most of what I've done over the last 2 years has been to find interesting pieces of information, most of which have been found by people like these researchers I'm about to mention. And then I present them to you, and I put them together in my own way and present them to you. There's a lot of things that did not hit me when a lot of these people first found them. A lot of those things have hit me in the last 6 months, say. Things that I either didn't see or didn't piece together the way that some of these people pieced together as early as 2018. So I always go out of my way to make sure I give credit where credit is due. And a lot of times when I'm finding things, I either don't remember or I don't see or didn't know who originally came up with it, and that'll continue to be possible going forward. But if I'm ever made aware, I always make sure that I give those people credit because it's the right thing to do and they deserve the credit. I want to give some credit to a few people, and this is not all. And I'll say again, if I miss anybody, let me know. I'll be happy to acknowledge your part in all this stuff. I am not in any way trying to take the credit for myself. All I want to do is be a vehicle to present to you, to people that are new coming into this, and we have a lot of new people coming in. I want to make sure that we present a lot of these things that I think are very important as we go forward, because the world's changing now, and we are right in the middle of the change, or right at the very precipice of the change, in my opinion. So some of these guys I want to give credit to. One is I Am Legion. If you don't follow I Am Legion, give him a follow. He's at PAISAN 26849860. The next would be Green Eggs and Ham at Ham Eggs and Sam. And he also has a YouTube channel called To the Lifeboats. A follow and a subscribe for sure. Another is XRP Darren at Fame21 More. These are all definite follows. And this is a group of guys, and they go by SPQR Media. They have a YouTube channel. I'm going to show you one of their videos in a minute, but they have a YouTube channel that you should subscribe to. And actually, yesterday I read that they were thinking about splitting up, which I hope they don't do. But they've got all kinds of great content that you should go watch. And also, there's several different guys in this. But this is one of them, Lee SPQR, and he's a definite follow. These guys are really smart. They've really done a lot of good research. And a lot of the things I'm about to show you, and what I showed you yesterday from NTT, about NTT and Everest and all that, a lot of these guys had presented some of the stuff a long time ago that I missed. And then there is Stuart XRP at XRP_Stuart. And then we've got Love for Crypto. He's another one. Now I'm going to show you a video he did. He's the guy, and I was made aware of this by I Am Legion. He's the guy who initially put out the document that I showed you yesterday. I had seen him put out a chart, but I did not remember the document itself. And so, but this is Curtis from Love for Crypto. Now, Love for Crypto is also a group. So any of you that are just now finding out about all this, you need to follow the people that I'm showing you here. And Love for Crypto and Curtis, they have a YouTube channel as well called Love for Crypto. Now I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to get back. I'm going to show you Love for Crypto's video that you need to go watch, where he first showed you what I showed you yesterday from back, I think it may have been back in 2018. I'll get to that. First, I wanted to show you just this is one of the few people I follow in trading in this market, and I want to make sure that you separate the trading and speculation of the crypto markets and utility, which is the bigger picture in my mind, and I'll show you more of that in this video as well. But the Joker's talking about, he's looking at this through the eyes of a trader, which I am not, and I don't really recommend it for most of you. I recommend you invest and hold for the long term. That's what I do. I don't trade. And he says, wave 4 closed below 9K. That invalidated this count. Now what? The bullish scenario is A, B, C, D, E pattern. The break of 9K has confirmed it. Wave E can extend to $6,800 to $7,800 levels by March 21. XRP, 20 cents to 23 cents. Folks, if you've ever seen a buying opportunity for something in your life, this might be the last chance to hop on board this train. I can promise you that I will be buying. Okay, now I wanted to go over this from yesterday. Yesterday there was a decision in one of the Ripple, I think it's the last Ripple lawsuit that exists. This is from XRP Crypto. Well, a lawsuit claiming Ripple violated U.S. securities laws will be allowed to move forward, but with a caveat favorable to Ripple. There's always so much FUD with these stupid lawsuits. It's unbelievable. XRP will never be declared a security, so don't worry. I agree, and I'll show you why I agree. But the first thing I want to show you is, and I want to explain this to you folks. This is, I have a theory, and this is what I've seen transpire over the last 2 years. I believe that the traditional financial media, which make no mistake, is controlled by the powers that be. I believe it's divided into two camps right now. I believe there's a Bitcoin camp and an XRP, and I would even throw in an Ethereum, XRP Ethereum camp. Okay, I believe a lot of the powers that be got into Bitcoin initially, and now they're stuck, and they want that to be where they make the money first. Okay, and I believe that there's a division. And I can even name the financial media outlets that where I see the division. I think on one side you have Forbes. I'm pointing right now. Bloomberg and Forbes were the most anti-XRP and Ripple publications that there were over the last 2 years, and continue to be. Forbes had an entire group of contributors that did nothing but put out anti-Ripple and XRP articles for the last 2 years. Then Bloomberg here, same thing. And this is what their headline was for that lawsuit thing yesterday. Ripple can't escape XRP lawsuit. It says could topple market. That's the headline. They wanted to try to scare people. Okay. Now I need to go over with you why I've always told you that all this SEC lawsuit stuff is a bunch of garbage. There's a lot of reasons, but I'm just going to rehash one of them, okay? Remember, Miguel Baez came from the CME group, okay? One of the most regulated industries in the world. Miguel Baez came from the CME group to Ripple, okay? He heads the XRP markets. I want you to look again at Miguel Baez's resume. Biochemical engineer, University of Miami. BA Economics and Mathematics, Yale University. MS Financial Engineering at Columbia University. Then he goes to Morgan Stanley, regulated. Morgan Stanley Associate Platinum Palladium Options Trader, regulated. Bank of America, VP, Head of Precious Metals Derivatives Trader, regulated. Mitsui and Company, Vice President, Precious Metals Derivative Trader, regulated. CME Group, Director, Metals Options, regulated. Then he says, hey, now, after all of that hard work, after going to all of that schooling, Ivy League, mind you, and after spending all these years in these heavily regulated industries, I've got a bright idea. I'm going to go to this random startup that's out of San Francisco, and I'm going to lay my career on the line, because XRP, of course, right, can be called a security. I'm going to put everything I've worked for on the line, and I'm going to go work for this startup because I think they have a cool white paper, and I think they could change the world. I'm going to go to this startup, and I'm going to risk everything, and I'm going to do it without any assurances of whether XRP is going to be declared a security, and then I not just lose everything I have and lose everything my family has, but I go get carted away in handcuffs and put in jail for selling a security illegally. Do you think Miguel Baez or Brad Garlinghouse or anybody at Ripple is going to do that and take that risk? The digital asset investor is 46 years old, and life has taught him that that is a ridiculous and preposterous idea. Would not happen, did not happen. And so the question is, what assurance was Miguel Baez given that one day the markets and the average investor that wants to invest in XRP is going to be given? That's what I've always said to myself. And I'll drive this point home by showing you this and one other thing. This is the Cryptopolis video. He says, my favorite Miguel Baez moment. And this is Miguel Baez talking about his decision to go work for Ripple. Okay.
I joined the company, I think, maybe somewhat idealistically, as we all do when we take big leaps and big risks, because I've always believed from the minute I read the consensus, the white paper on the consensus mechanism for XRP, I believed it had the capability of changing the world. And, I've had conversations with, Chris Larson and Arthur and David around the fact that it is, I think, transformational software that we kind of owe it our best effort to get it to where it belongs and where it deserves to be. So, being part of a team that's focused on doing that and, literally doing something that's never been done before, it's pretty cool. My wife thinks I'm nuts because every other word out of my mouth these days is XRP, and I seem to be working, 27 hours a day, and I'm having dreams about payment rails. But I firmly believe that's how you get to do something really special. And the company is, it's amazing what it's been able to achieve, incredibly solid. Our leadership is amazing. And I think we're on a path that hopefully we'll all look back someday and be like, wow, I can't believe I was a part of that.
You better believe it. Now, the question that you get out of this clip with regard to this whole security thing is, so he has a conversation with Chris Larson and Arthur Brito and David Schwartz and all these guys about how XRP could change the world. Do you not think that before he accepts this position to run and publicly tell everyone that he's selling this supposed thing that could be a security, you telling me that this guy goes and accepts this job without having the same conversation about, hey, what happens to us if they call this thing a security? You think that doesn't come up? Come on, folks, come on. Now I'm going to give you a little dose of the real world. Here's the real world. And I always use this example, but I've never shown you the video. But today I'm going to show you the video. It's from a movie. It's called American Made with Tom Cruise. Any of you who have not gone and seen this movie, it's a great movie. You can rent it on your TV at home. It's called American Made. It's about the back in the 80s. This guy was a pilot. The CIA hires him to go and take pictures down in South America, I believe. And one thing leads to another. The next thing they want him to do is run guns to these Contra rebels or whatever. Then the next thing happens, the drug dealers find out that he's running guns for the CIA, and they say, hey, well, if he's running guns for them, this is the perfect cover for him on his trip back to the United States to run drugs to the United States. So before the thing's up, by the end of the movie, this guy is working for the CIA. He's working for the drug cartels. He's running guns. He's money laundering, you name it. And he's doing it all out of Arkansas. And this is the clip where all of the agencies of the United States come in Arkansas on him and arrest him, not knowing that he's been involved with the CIA. And I want to show you, and I know all of you out there, you think, oh, okay, well, the world works where, yeah, you get arrested and therefore you're guilty of this and you're going to jail. Well, I can tell you for 1,000% positive that for average Joes, for you and me, yeah, it works that way. but not for the people that are running the world. Folks, that's how the world works. And I want to make one point. That Governor Clinton that called her, that would be the same President Clinton that went to Ripple's swell, just as an FYI. Okay, moving along. Camo Ammo, can someone please get to the bottom of this, please? Well, I'm here to get to the bottom of this for you, Camo Ammo, and here's what I've got to say to you. The CEOs of all these companies stepped down within 1 month. Nobody escapes the storm. Well, Camo Ammo, I'll tell you what my experience with this type of thing is. My experience is that you start seeing CEOs step down when they don't want to take the blame for what they know is coming. And I would bet you my life that these people know what is coming if they've stepped down. And what's coming is a financial disaster. Okay, now back to giving credit. Okay, let me see if I am in the right place here. Okay, this is the first thing that I want to do. This is the video that I showed you guys yesterday. Okay, now you'll have to forgive me because this again is going to be a long video, but it's going to be a video that you all love watching, and that's the point. So I Am Legion says great video, and he gives me credit here. And again, I did not present the video yesterday, and that I'm the first one. In fact, I threw all kinds of caveats out there of, somebody else probably has shown this. I just couldn't remember. Well, I want to make sure that you all know who did bring this out. It was Love for Crypto. He reminds me here, the Everest documents first shared, as far as I know, in this video. This is Love for Crypto. I want to show you this is the video. It's got over 100,000 views. You need to go give Love for Crypto a subscribe and watch his video. He's the first one that put this out. Now I want to show you some other things in this thing that I Am Legion brought to my attention. Here's the video. That's the video. Okay. Now he says, DAI, in the slides you show in your video, notice how it changes from CLS to ILP. He caught this, and I forgot to bring this out. Remember, this is from 1980 to 2017. Now I'm going to pull up the documents so you can see exactly what we're talking about, what he's pointing to. 1980 to 2017, you got CLS that's right here, okay? And then the document shows in 2017 that now you've got ILP, okay? What does it show for 2020 to 2025? ILP with the XRP ledger, folks. This is the entire world, the entire financial world changing, folks. That's what this is. That's why Glenn Hutchins said that the prices that you're seeing, all that stuff about prices on CoinMarketCap is all a distraction. Because when you see this phased in, those prices are going to become a joke and irrelevant, especially with relation to XRP. That's been the whole point all along, folks. Now, let's go back down to, let me see if there's anything else. I Am Legion. Yeah, I Am Legion then points out that a lot of the things that I showed you yesterday, whoops, let me see, he must have added some things to this since, let me go back. Okay, he's showing that since, this is some of that information that I showed you about NTT data, and then it goes on and shows you some other different things. Nikon, I think it was Nikon Corporation. So anyway, he shows you in his slides here, Nippon's what I meant. Nippon Telegraph, he shows you in this that the how the Japanese government of Japan owns 32.6%. And it's got this, and then it goes on and it says Ripples themselves as a part of the 5th largest IT service. But anyway, he's documented all this stuff, and he did it back in December 26th of 2019. And you have to understand, a lot of these things I either missed or it was information overload, and I was just focused on covering different things. There's a lot of different reasons that today, I told a friend the other day, your subconscious mind is really an unexplored gold mine is what it is. What I've been going through I've been in this for 2 years now, like doing 2 to 3 videos a day. what I've been going through recently is my subconscious mind literally in my sleep has been delivering up things that I've read or heard, whether it's an I Am Legion that showed something that I may have seen him do a while back. My subconscious mind in my sleep has literally been delivering up things to me that are tied together that I never saw being tied together. And then I go back and I look, and that's what is going on right now. And it all makes sense now. Okay, so let's go back to, well, shoot. Let me see if I can go back to that. Okay, yeah. So then he talks about, let's see, I'm trying to make sure, I don't know if I've got all this in line, but before I go on any further, remember the CLS, I wanted to make sure I showed you that again. This is very important because this CLS thing that I Am Legion brought to my attention, this is the way it has been. And I showed you the video the other day, and it's worth you watching this video over and over and over. So I'm going to show it to you again. Remember, this is CLS. They help clients navigate the changing FX marketplace. And I want you to see this. I'm going to show this to you until you get to the part where they talk about how much money these guys move, because this is what you're talking about the XRP ledger replacing.
Markets don't stand still. The FX market is a dynamic global marketplace in which trillions of dollars of transactions are made and settled every day. And every day, the thousands of parties and players who trade within the FX sector are subject to significant risk, settlement risk. We at CLS mitigate that risk. Launched in 2002, we transformed the market with our innovative approach to settlement risk mitigation and multilateral netting. Our specialists have worked to reduce systemic risk ever since, creating operational efficiencies and significant cost savings for our clients. We do this through the operation of the largest multi-currency cash settlement service in the world, mitigating risk for the world's most important financial institutions, our members and their clients, funds, banks, and multinational corporations. On their behalf, using our unique payment versus payment system, we are settling payment instructions for currency trades in 18 currencies for counterparties across the globe, simultaneously in real time and with finality. Every day we handle around 1 million payment instructions and settle some $5 trillion of transactions.
That would be $5 trillion, folks. $5 trillion a day. Okay, now you had to see that. Okay, let me make sure that I have covered all of this. Now there's other things that he talks about in here called Stella, and then let me see. I think I'm gonna move along from there. But I want to go, and then this is something else that he showed here. I think I've covered most of it, but there's another topic that comes up as well. Let me see if I'm organizing this right. This tweet, this is what I wanted to show you. This tweet was from today, okay? And it starts, and I don't even know who this is right here. Let me make sure I follow them. And it starts, NZ, this is New Zealand Central Bank leads the world with change. Here's the article, and I'm going to go back to that tweet. Reserve Bank launches new payment settlement system. The Reserve Bank has launched a new future-proofed payment settlement system, replacing New Zealand interbank settlement system and central securities depository. The new platform replaces a 20-year-old system. Is that CLS? With two separate systems, ESAS 2.0, NZ Clear 2.0. The new platform comprises real-time gross settlement and central security depository applications supplied by SIA, a European technology and banking infrastructure leader. Okay, remember that, SIA. So go down this. First, you got this guy. He says SIA are linked to R3 Corda. They are live next month for 78% of Italian banking system, 100% in 2020. Working with all EU members and links to TAS Gateway via Target 2. That's the interoperability link, and XRPL pops up for me. Great post, by the way. Then I Am Legion, once again, comes in, he says, Marco Polo project, Saya chain, and more. And he's got sunglasses on. So he shows you the networks, available network drivers with this TAS Ripple. And then it shows Ripple can plug into this. Okay. And then look what he shows you here. SIA, Ripple, right there in the middle of it. Then it says, and I'm going to blow this one up for you. This one said, let me see if I did that right. We can zoom in. SIA strategy, multiple DLT platforms, Corda, Ethereum, Ripple, Hyperledger Fabric. I am Legion. Wow. Ethereum and Ripple are the ones, folks. It's Ethereum and Ripple. Okay? I hope everybody gets it now. All right. And thank you, I am Legion. Wow, did you knock it out of the park there? Okay. So here we go. We're moving on. I'm getting rid of some of these things. Now, another guy who, in my opinion, has been calling it. Now, remember, folks, when we talk about, I want you to keep in mind what Glenn Hutchins said as I go forward here. We've had a lot of people who get focused. Everybody's focused on the price. The reason it's a distraction is because the price will take care of itself when all of these things that we're looking at happen. And Brad Garlinghouse has told you this, and I'll show you a clip at the end where he tells you again, the price will take care of itself. Don't worry about the price. Don't worry about when people try to give you crazy price predictions. Don't worry about whether that's crazy or whether they should be doing it or whether it's right or wrong. That's not relevant. What's relevant is what's being said. Words matter. Words mean things. What's relevant is the things that are actually being said, not what you're seeing on CoinMarketCap, because this is a bigger picture. This guy actually sent me a message last night, I think after watching the video from yesterday. And I think he thought to himself probably, okay, now you're on it. And so I was going to give him some credit where credit's due. His name's Mark Phillips. He's a guy that's in PR out of Washington, D.C. He's actually got his LinkedIn resume. I went and looked at it. The guy looks like he is pretty plugged in D.C. to me. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you, and the first thing I noticed about the guy is he's got pinned on his Twitter feed this about Ripple's strategy. I believe that we are in a combination of right here where the running begins. Now remember, back to the document from yesterday. Let's go to the very top, folks. Let's look at our timeline. This, to me, I've been in this since 2013, and this right here is the most important thing that I have seen since I got in this space. This is the literal timeline, and the craziest part is that they did this in 2017, and sure enough, it looks like exactly what is going on. Now, they've got 2025 here, okay? Now, go back to this Mark Phillips, the thing that's pinned on his Twitter feed, and he's getting this crawl, walk, run. This is from what Brad Garlinghouse said, and Brad Garlinghouse also said this in this interview that was posted. Brad Garlinghouse retweeted this yesterday. I'm going to show it to you at the end of this video. Ripple claims a big win in elusive quest. Now, what's interesting about this article that Brad Garlinghouse retweeted yesterday, the article is a rehash, or at least the video at the top of it. This video is from a few months back, but the article was written for yesterday, and there's got to be a reason. Well, in the video, which is this, Brad Garlinghouse mentions the crawl, walk, run that you're seeing right here on Mark Phillips' Twitter feed. FIs use XRP on-chain for cross-border remittances. And I want you to think 2020 to 2025 from that document. International bank-to-bank payments use XRP on-chain. XRP is globally for retail purchases off-chain. XRP used to bridge any walled gardens via ILP. IMF adopts XRP for ESDR. Think what Brad Combs has talked about. XRP adopted, or what does he call it? XRP is donated as a public good or something to that effect. Global unbanked population uses XRP. Ripple net efficiency increases as XRP value rises. U.S. and others use XRP to back fiat and pay debt. Institutional investors hold XRP and make markets. XRP used to tokenize all asset classes. XRP emerges as a supranational currency. XRP serves as a world reserve currency. Okay, now I want to give Mark. I'm showing a lot of this because there's so many new people here. And I'm going to show you this, folks. Okay, Mark Phillips, over the course of the last 2 years, has put out 3 articles that I've seen. I don't think I've ever covered them. I'm going to show you these now. Those of you that are new to this, I want you to go and read these articles all the way through, okay? And again, don't worry about the titles of the articles. Don't worry about the prices. I'm not telling you XRP is going to 10,000. That's in one of the titles of the article. I'm telling you that XRP is about to put a dent in the universe. And if that carries it to 10,000, so be it. But whatever a dent in the universe is, I don't think it's 23 cents, folks, okay? I'll say that. But here are his articles, and I'm going to give you some summaries from one of them. The first one was, this is not a crypto bear market. Now, in this article, what I love about what he says in this article, the title of this article is, this is not a crypto bear market. And what he's saying is, it's not a market at all, folks. We've only got a handful of $1 billion in. We're talking about trillions of dollars, folks, trillions. We're not just talking about trillions. We're talking about all of the money, folks. We're talking about all of the money. Okay, so I want you to go check this article out. I also want you to go check this one out where he says XRP will be a world reserve currency. These are Medium articles, by the way. And the third one was this. XRP was designed for $10,000. The evidence is in its design. And again, I'm not saying it. Nobody go out there and say that I said XRP is going to 10,000. What I said is that XRP is about what Navin Gupta said from Ripple, which is that XRP is going to put a dent in the universe, because he told us that Ripple is either going to go away or they're going to put a dent in the universe. I believe XRP is a part of that dent in the universe. There's not a doubt in my mind at this point. Now, so this is one of his articles as well, and I can't remember if okay. Now this is a summary, just some points that he made in that article that they pulled out. According to the Medium, XRP was created to one day run $10,000 a coin, break down the digital assets contribution. It shows XRP was created as a replacement for institutional and retail financial systems. More explicitly, SWIFT. To do that, XRP needs a very high price. Looking forward, this is an Arthur Brito, one of the creators of the XRP ledger. This is his quote. Looking forward, the XRP ledger needs to be able to scale to serve 7.5+ billion people and even more devices. The current, somebody is backing into my driveway. I do not know who that is. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to stop this and start back. Okay, sorry, that was the guy that I coach baseball with, and we had to do some strategizing, but I'm back. Don't worry. We're back on the XRP ledger. Okay, I can't remember how much I read of this, but this is an Arthur Brito quote. Looking forward to the XRP ledger needs to be able to scale to serve 7.5 billion people and even more devices. The current account mechanism likely doesn't scale to this level. Therefore, only those accounts that are most needed should be created. The reserve provides a barrier to entry for unneeded accounts. And then it says, let's see, going along here. I'm just hitting some of the high points. Schwartz says the price of XRP has to be higher to increase its liquidity. The degree to which XRP can be bought or sold without affecting price. XRP is way undervalued, as anyone with any real knowledge will tell you. The trouble is the over-the-counter, which does not affect the price. And this is Mark Phillips. So how high can this go? If the entire 1.14 quadrillion value of all asset classes were tokenized via XRP, that would require at least $11,400 per XRP. It demonstrates the scale of liquidity that XRP is designed to handle. Now, this part right here, I do believe that a lot of assets will be tokenized on the XRP ledger, but I don't think it'll be all. And so I just wanted to comment that in order for XRP to move value equivalent to Swift's $5 trillion a day, the digital assets price must be far higher at around $100 per XRP. Now, this to me is getting in very reasonable territory. Okay, and let me see if there's anything else. The XRP ledger is decentralized cryptographic ledger powered by a network of peer-to-peer rippled server. The current minimum transaction cost required by the network for a standard transaction is 0.00001 XRP, 10 drops. It sometimes increases due to the higher than usual load. One point we found fascinating is that approximately 1.7 billion people in the world remain unbanked. For many, the banking system is simply too expensive. Let's see. Anything else interesting? Yeah, there is. Final thought. A little extra info. Ripple recently mentioned PolySign, developed by Arthur Brito and David Schwartz, discussed at UberCon 2019. Interestingly, PolySign was set up to manage trillions involved in institutional payments, potentially where banks will hold digital assets for on-demand liquidity. PolySign, this is from PolySign. PolySign's custody solution supports the full spectrum of digital assets and is designed to scale to the trillions under management. So there you go, folks. Okay. Now, so those are the articles I wanted you to see. Now, this is a video from SPQR Media that you need to go watch. This video is called XRP designed to become $10,000 in world reserve currency. And this is an actual interview they did with Mark Phillips.
To go through the journey of like-minded
So anyway,
people.
this is the actual article here, and this was them doing a video about it. So go watch that and give these guys a subscribe at SPQR Media right here. Okay, now, then I thought was very interesting is that today Mark Phillips tweets this. For the public to accept big change, we must face clear danger. The Fed will be providing a little bit of support to consumer spending and to the U.S. economy and for financial markets if it becomes very serious. Fiscal policy could play a more active role too. That's Janet Yellen, and she's commenting on this that I don't talk about. Okay, and then Brad Garlinghouse retweets this yesterday. Retweets a Fortune magazine article. The article is a rehash, or at least the video at the top is a rehash of a video that was already put out a few months back. Okay, so listen to this now. And when you listen to this, I want you to be thinking about this. Think about Glenn Hutchins when he said the prices, all the prices of the cryptocurrencies, it's a distraction. In the context of utility, it is a distraction. And when you talk about utility, let's talk about the replacement of CLS and the $5 trillion a day. Let's talk about all the money. So Brad Garlinghouse here is kind of talking about this.
And so when I say altcoin, I mean everything but Bitcoin. Bitcoin has outperformed the rest of the crypto industry this year. What that looks like in the future, hard to predict. I think over the long term, meaning 2, 3, 4, 5 years, that correlation.
Now remember, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Remember I'll show it to you again. Remember our timeline. 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Okay? 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We are in 2020, which Ripple has called the year of the digital asset. 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I believe that 2020 is the year you begin to see the ramp up in utility that he's talking about, and now he's going to tell you what that means.
I think we'll start to reflect those that have a real use case. I'm very enthusiastic about not just what Ripple is doing, but the community of companies working around the XRP ledger. Coil is a very interesting company doing something around micropayments using XRP, where you really can't use something like Bitcoin for the purpose of micropayments in terms of the cost per transaction or speed of the transaction. It's much more appropriate for XRP.
There's a lawsuit hanging over Ripple right now, a group of...
Okay, so I don't know why Brad Garlinghouse retweeted that when he did, but I have my ideas. But I wanted to finish this by telling you this is CoinMarketCap, and it's all a distraction, folks. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that the XRP ledger is about all the money, not some of the money, but all of the money. Thank you for listening.